Joining us now is former U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Dan Shapiro, and retired U.S. Army Major General Randy Manner. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. Thank you for your time. General, let me just start with you on this, because I think a lot of people, and I'll get to the Strait in just a moment, but I think a lot of people are waking up to the news after the weekend that the White House is now sending, thousands more, 2,500 to 5,000 more Marines to the Middle East, as we're now in week 3 of this operation. 13 have already died, and we're sending more. In your eyes, does this mean boots on the ground are coming?
That is a very small force to be able to put boots on the ground. It is not clear, again, what the mission objectives are. So what will 2,500 Marines possibly do? The Strait is a very, very complicated geographic area that would require many, many tens of thousands, if not 100,000 military members to be able to secure. And even then, it's very unlikely because of the way that it is shaped. So, and also it is my blunt strategic assessment that that Strait will not be opened whatsoever without Iranian participation and negotiation. The reason why many of these nations are hesitant to be able to devote ships is that their ships do not have very robust anti-drone capability. And so they're extremely unlikely to be able to participate because they cannot defend themselves, let alone any kind of a freighter in this kind of environment. And of course, you add on to that the fact that this is a unilateral, U.S. and Israel are the two countries that have started this war, and without regard to our allies. And of course, that makes them less hesitant, less understanding what the objectives are as well. So they're not likely to participate.
And Ambassador, in regards to the Strait of Hormuz, the president, per Kelly's reporting there, says he's negotiating with about 7 countries to help come in and police that trading route, but not mentioning exactly who he's dealing with. What happens if nobody agrees to this?
Well, Markie, this is what happens when a president goes into a conflict like this, a large, complicated mission, but with very unclear strategic objectives and without any prior consultation, not with Congress, not really with the American people, and not with allies. And then when getting into trouble and needing assistance to deal with a very complicated mission, as the general said, of securing the Strait of Hormuz, going to allies who haven't even had explained to them, not before the mission and even now during the mission, what are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to achieve the overthrow of the Iranian regime? Are we trying to only secure the nuclear materials? Are we trying to just degrade their power projection capabilities, their missiles and their Navy? That's largely completed. So it's a very belated request, and I think somewhat disorganized request, to go to these countries and say, now we need your help to secure this mission, this very difficult mission where they may not have the right naval capabilities. And so I think this is going to take many more weeks, if the fighting continues, to get countries to participate.
Kelly, let me go back to you real quickly, just at the White House, because all weekend long, Trump has said that, we're ahead of schedule on this. He touted that we have completely, destroyed Iran militarily, financially. Based on what we've heard from the Pentagon and the White House, what's left to tackle on the objectives list?
That's the big question. We don't exactly know. And that's been the question here at the White House and in Washington, D.C., because the president's messaging here is both that this is complete, that they've done everything that they needed to do. But then at the same time, in another interview, he'll say that there is still more work to be done. He isn't done just yet, and he isn't laying out that exact timeline. And initially, he said 3 to 4 weeks. We are now entering week 3. And as you mentioned earlier there, Markie, it could go even longer, with other countries saying that they, even Israel saying that they could go even longer here. So we don't know exactly the timeline, and we don't know exactly his next objective, especially with the reporting that there are over 2,000 Marines going. What exactly they will be used for, we don't know. As the Major General mentioned, that they would need many more if they were going to do some sort of ground operation. But we don't know exactly the objective. Obviously, they're not going to paint this out. We've tried to ask the Pentagon, and they say, we're not going to broadcast our moves for the public. But there still are many Americans that want to know what their sons and daughters are there fighting for, and for how long.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.